Greetings, programs. This is Wretch. Welcome back to Vampire the Masquerade, Reckoning of New York. And in the last episode, guys, after another encounter with some overzealous hunters, Callie seemed to be giving in to her despair a little bit, but after a heart-to-heart with Patty, it seems she's at least kind of manageable again, and now it's time for her to go ahead and face the judgment of the council at Elysium. But Patty says that he has her back. We'll see what happens. Bad omens. Catching up with my favorite council at Elysium tonight. I'm scared shitless, but there's nothing to be done about it. I gotta march right into the lion's den. I just hope Padraic stands by me like he said he would. Only one way to find out. We drive mostly in silence, which suits me just fine. Guess there's not much left unsaid at this point, and really, not much I want to talk about either. Padraic pulls up a few blocks shy of the Elysium and parks in an alleyway shadowed by half-finished apartment buildings. It looks truly desolate. Why are we stopping here? The art hole is a couple of blocks down. Little walk might do us good. Clear the cobwebs a bit. What do you say? I just nod. Not like walking's gonna change a damn thing, but maybe it'll help me steel my nerves for whatever's waiting at the end of this trek. The walk is quiet, just the crunch of snow underfoot and the looming skeletons of buildings around us. Their empty window frames like open mouths howling at the city. You remind me of dead trees, all hollow and eerie as shit. Feels like I'm a character in some cheesy horror movie who gets a particularly shitty kind of afterlife. The irony isn't lost on me. Deep in my gloomy thoughts, I almost missed the sound of heated voices from one of the sites. Who the fuck does construction at this hour? Padraic's face grows even more serious than normal. And he's stonier, and they're gonna canonize him as the patron saint of grumpiness. Shh. This way. He tucks me kind of forcefully next to a fence and motions for me to take a closer look at the source of the noise. He's fidgeting with his ring again, which is never a good sign. Peeking out, I see three probably mortals in beat-up clothes, chatting animatedly like they're plotting something. Great. A bunch of thieves. We're just idiots betting who can haul off a T-bar. Big deal. Well, let's keep moving. Hanging around here isn't exactly helping me. I'm not sure they're just thieves, Callie. As he says that, I catch a glimpse of a handgun peeking out from one of the guys' belt. My eyes narrow, searching out more details. They're tense, ready to snap. And one dude? He's wearing what damn well looks like a Kevlar vest under his jacket. It could be undercover. Maybe DEA on a stakeout? I doubt they're the feds either. You think... Hunters. Probably a scouting party. This close to Elysium? Fuck. We spy on them when the scratchy noise of a radio cuts the silence short. I can't hear the words, but they immediately dash into the building, their steps echoing up the stairs. I look over at Padraic, his fingers busy twirling his ring like it's got answers. Who knows? Maybe it does, but so do I. Let's go after them. I'm not sure. Oh, please, you've already made up your mind. Your face screams conundrum loud and clear. Right. I have a bad feeling about this. We should uncover what they're up to. I nod and head toward the building, my every move cautious and calculated. Patty follows, silent as the grave. We zip up 10, 12, 15 floors in a blink, tailing the hunters, melding into the shadows as we go. The higher we climb, the louder the wind howls, whistling through the unfinished windows. Soon we come to a vast open area that's still under construction and swiftly crouch behind a half-finished wall. That's a sniper rifle. The three hunters we followed are joined by a few others, one clutching a radio and posing like he's the boss. I take a quick look around to get a lay of the land and... Holy shit. Quiet. Scattered among the wires and building tools, there's a brightly lit table piled with maps and a battered laptop displaying a stream of text commands, perhaps. There's military equipment everywhere. Assault rifles, Kevlar vests, night vision goggles, and notably, a massive sniper rifle on a bipod pointed at the street below. I lower my voice to a whisper. We need to get the hell out of here now. If this is sad, if there are more of them, they're not the feds, I'm telling you. They're well equipped, but all of this screams paramilitary to me. So what's our play? He rises slowly, tense as a predator, ready to pounce. Stay low. It'll only take a moment. In a flash, Patty darts toward the nearest hunter. A gruesome crunch echoes as he smashes the man's head. The rest snap out of their daze, moving sluggishly as if it's slow motion, but Patty's already whispering something under his breath. I catch maybe half of the words escaping his mouth, all of them mundane, direct, normal. But every single one of them makes me want to dunk my head underwater to escape their soft, incessant onslaught. I do the next best thing and just cover my ears, thinking about the best steps to be taken. He said to wait, so we're gonna wait and observe. We're also a little bit hurting on our blood. One of the hunters screams higher and higher until he's practically squealing, head between his hands and eyes bulging out of the sockets. The other two scramble for their weapons but don't get far. The body of their tormented companion is hurled through the air and knocks them both down. Before they can recover, Patty appears before them, rifle in hand, and with impressive precision fires a bullet into each of their heads. They collapse with a muted thud of flesh hitting concrete. Silence falls over the room, the immediate threat apparently neutralized. Patty's riding is high, barely aware of his surroundings. That's when I spot the last remaining hunter, leaping from cover with a taser aimed at Patty's back. Padraic, behind you! My shout barely precedes the taser firing its barbs. Patty whirls around and the needles burrow into his arm, electricity crackling down the wires. He looks more confused than anything. Tasers have little effect on our kind. But while Patty calmly yanks the needles out, the hunter springs toward the table and deftly picks up a machete. She advances with the blade drawn, but Patty's way quicker. He lunges, grabbing her by the throat, and snaps her neck with a brutal twist. By the time I reach him, he's already cooling off. Shit, are you okay? I should've... I'm fine. It wasn't pleasant, but I'm glad you listened. There was no need for you to take risks. Oh, screw you, making me sit here gathering dust while you're hogging all the action? He smirks slightly, but there's little joy on his face. The flicker of the laptop screen on the table catches our attention, but that's not the real prize. It's the pile of documents spread across the table, blueprints and maps aggressively annotated with a Sharpie. A closer look reveals a very detailed layout of the art hole and its immediate surroundings. Patty and I lean over the table, exchanging wary glances. Damn, they've mapped out everything. They know the art hole inside out, down to the last screw. Seems like they've been at this for weeks. Suddenly, through a gap in the wall, I spot some movement on the roof of the building next door. I might have overlooked it if not for the flashlight beams slicing through the darkness. I spring into action and grab the sniper rifle propped by the window. Sweeping the gun from side to side, I peer through the scope, surveying the entire neighborhood. What do you see? Hunters. Loads of them. They're all over the fucking shop. Several other surveillance squads are spread out around us, all focusing on Elysium, forming a tight net, effectively sealing off the art hole's perimeter. Jesus. It's completely surrounded, every damn corner swarming with hunters. I jerk away from the scope, which clatters against the rough windowsill. What the hell do we do now? We must alert the council immediately. This is... Just then, the crackle of a walkie-talkie cuts through the tension. I snatch it up, straining to hear the faint voices through the static. All units, take your positions. Lightbringer confirm. Your spot. We move on your signal. It's harvest time, brothers and sisters. Drive out the darkness. Over. All hands on deck. Oh, all hands on deck. Let's teach these fucking leeches a lesson. Over. I glance at Patty, but he's frozen in place, completely shell-shocked. Don't just stand there, damn it! Move! We bolt from the building. It takes me a good minute of high-speed sprint before I realize that I'm still clutching the walkie-talkie. Not a single hunter along the way. It's likely Lady Luck's smiling on us, or maybe it's Patty's voices who are leading us unscathed around all the patrols. We reach the entrance of Elysium in no time. I'm fixated on the door, noticing the red thermal light is off. It's a good sign there's no immediate danger. Suddenly, I'm shoved inside. I land hard on my ass, just in time to see one of Valerie's thugs blocking the door. The hell you think you're doing? You into a ma say-so. Patty reaches down to help me, but I'm already on my feet, driven by pure, unbridled rage. Get the fuck out of my way! I try to push past him, but he's like a brick wall. Stubborn, immovable fucking object. What's your fucking problem? You go in when I... Before he can finish, a fist with glittering rings lands squarely on his face, smashing him back against the wall. I shoot Patty a look. He's fuming. Perfect. We exchange a glance and charge into the art hole. My caretaker hot on my heels. Our entrance stops the incessant debating dead in its tracks. Jaws hit the floor, eyes wide. But the only thing I really notice is the murderous look the sheriff throws our way. I nearly trip over my own feet, but somehow regain my balance and end up on my knees. A quick glance tells me the room hasn't changed much since my last visit, except for the notable absence of the Anarch Baron. What on earth is this intrusion? You cannot possibly... This is hardly an appropriate entrance for one whose fate is so precarious, Ravnos. All I need to do is listen. Just fucking listen. There. The hunt... Kadir, shall we skip the trial? She's obviously courting final death here. Everyone just shut the hell up for 1 second. They obviously have a reason... Esteemed counsel, please. You must listen to... I feel a harsh grip on my arm, wrenching it back painfully. Can't they just shut up for one... You both are going to regret this. And what are your plans for dealing with this, Sheriff? In my domain? Unacceptable. Valerie, seize them. Enough! His voice slices through the chaos, commanding instant silence. Patty seizes the moment to push Valerie's thug off of me, none too gently. The sheriff lets the moment linger, soaking it up like the last whisper dies down, or until the last whisper dies down. Then he holds it in a bit longer before breaking it like a vow. You've let your raven fly, Conroy. His words carry the weight of impending doom, heavy with promised violence. You better have a good reason for this disruption. Exceptionally good. Would we storm in here if... Sheriff, it's... The hunters. There's a swarm of them, armed to the teeth. They're advancing on Elysium. We saw them. My shouts bounce off the walls, and suddenly, everyone's too stunned to speak. The silence drags on. And on. Should this prove to be yet another one of your schemes, Raven, I swear... This is preposterous. There's simply no conceivable way that... You're all completely out of your fucking minds. Just listen to her. Their ears are closed, sealed shut. They're too fucking obstinate, too damn set in their old tired ways. It's nothing but endless prattle with them. The constant yapping of those drunk on their own authority, just blind, so deliberately blind to the actual dangers looking beyond. Oh, we're screwed. Every last one of us. Lightbringer, the BFB is ready to launch. Countdown imminent. Over. Did the man name this fucking thing, or what? Patty gives me a look, eyeing the walkie-talkie in my hand. Of course. I straighten up and slam the walkie-talkie down on their oversized, ludicrously grand table. The quarreling stops. They're all ears now, listening to the hunter comms. This is Lightbringer. We're green for launch. Initiating countdown. 10. 9. Holy shit, they're actually going to... The sheriff twitches, as if breaking out of suspended animation. Understanding blooms on his face like blood on broken skin. Evacuate the premises, now! Everyone, go! Go! Just like that, it finally clicks for them. But it's already too late. 6. 5. I bolt, no idea where to, just following the mob in some desperate hope that... 3. 2. The last image seared into my memory is Patty's face, just before... 1. And torpor. That is a durable Walkman. That's where we started. A desert rave. Flames licking the sky like a cosmic joke. I danced if fire could burn away the fringes of my expanding self. But ash is just the ghost of fire. Those moments are so distant now. A festival of fire and freedom, but what does a kindred seek in the flames? Redemption? Destruction? Or reckoning? Reality, dark as the blood I crave yet shun, tastes like metal, like rust. Clack, clack, clack. Like fire, like hunger, like survival. That game we all play, but all but flies, flips, fleeting. Here, now surrounded by the fire of my own disconnection, pixels of dark, dark, oh so very dark web. Every byte a story of deception, every link a chain to another false promise. The digital haze, impenetrable, but even codes have their breakpoints. As do I. Callie. His voice. Serpent slick, sugar-coated daggers wrapped in velvet, the maker of my illusions, the puppeteer dangling me on a string of silken lies, but aren't we all mirrors of our own deceits? Reflecting back like the lies we've so carefully curated. Firestorm of half-truths and whole falsehoods. So what are we, if not the secrets we keep? Callie! I am here. I am still here. What? Run! I remember. I remember now. Oh, shit. Patty's urgent pull on my arm jolts me from my trance. He's hauling me away from the remains of what once stood as the jewel in the crown of New York's Camarilla. Elysium is now just a husk, its grandeur swallowed by ferocious flames that smother the desperate screams of those who fled the havoc. Thick smoke spirals into the night sky, fiercely tearing at the air around it. I could stand here for hours, watching the whole place turn to ash. Callie, snap out of it! Clack, clack, clack. The sudden close sound of gunfire serves as a brutal wake-up call. Yeah. We launch into a mad sprint. Patty is slightly ahead, gripping my hand way too tightly. He looks mostly unscathed, just a few scratches here and there. A stinging pain in my cheek finally registers. I run my fingers over it and find a deep gash, but aside from that, I seem to be okay too. We pass by Arturo, who is half carrying a barely conscious Prince Pannard. He shoots us a hateful glare before sprinting off. The sharp rattle of an assault rifle echoes just behind him. A few bullets whiz by, damn near grazing my ear. We're about to duck around the next corner when our luck runs out. A hunter, barely a few feet away, levels his rifle at us. Goddamn abominations! I recognize him. He's the sole survivor from that mob that went after the serpents. Sansaric gave him a fucking grenade and a decisive order to set it off at his headquarters. It's a miracle he didn't blow himself to hell. He hesitates, lowering his gun slightly. I know y'all. You goddamn leeches, I remember you. Patty crouches, fangs bared, poised to strike at any moment. I mirror his stance, ready to spring. What that devil did to me was wrong. Corrupt. I nearly turned on my own. His weapon swings between Patty and me, his eyes locked on us, paranoid. But I pushed through, resisted. His brain's in overdrive, seething, every fiber of my being just itching to see his blood. Not even to drink it, but just to shred and tear and make him watch his own heart thump one last time in my hand. Threaten him, scare him, mock him? Whew, we're still low on blood, and I don't know if I'm going to have to heal something, so let's go ahead and threaten him. Before you bleed out, I'm going to carve my name into your liver and yank it out, just so you know who to curse when you're gasping out your last breath. I can see him trying not to shudder as he grips his weapon tighter. Y'all are nothing but sick, twisted monsters. We're gonna scrub the world clean of your filth. His words turned into a choked gurgle as a curved blade cleaves him in two, slicing from neck to guts as smoothly as cutting through butter. His weapon falls to the ground with a metallic clang. One side of his body flops over first, and the rest of the hunter hits the snow, blood spewing out like a macabre fountain. And at last we see his executioner. Kadir. I lift my eyes. His blood-streaked face is horrifying, anger etched deep, his bared fangs elongated. He looks right through me as if I'm just another body to slash through, tear apart, or crush like a spoiled apple. Patty notices it too, because he steps right in front of me. We are not your enemies, Sheriff. Kadir cocks his head as if he cannot grasp the meaning behind the words. There's a primal edge to him, an untamed frenzy that seems to feed on something dark and ravenous. And those eyes, those scary, empty eyes. They belong to the beast. Gunfire snaps all of us back to reality. Without uttering a word, Kadir leaps into an alley like a feral cat, ready to mangle anything that dares to stand in his way. The moment stretches into what feels like forever. Then Patty taps my shoulder and nods toward Julia as she steps out of the art hole's crumbling facade with Aeling slung over her shoulder. She hands the limp body to Valerie, who appears right behind her. Valerie hurries past us and slips into an alley. Julia, with one arm dangling uselessly, walks up to us. Are you idiots really just gonna stand there? No, obviously not. The north exit's blocked and those assholes are pushing in from the Bronx. Conroy, do you know about our safe spot in Greenpoint? I don't think so, no. We only hear the thundering boom a moment after the ground between us explodes in a shower of debris. Frantically, we scan our surroundings for the shooter, but to no avail. Fuck. We need to split up. You two, make for Williamsburg. Someone will pick you up there. Move it, now! She vanishes into the shadows, leaving only the fading sound of her footsteps. Another loud explosion rumbles and a gunshot cracks as we attempt to sneak away from our hiding spot. That's when I spot the shooter, betrayed by a straight glint from their scope, perched on a rooftop down the street, prepping their next shot. But it never comes. Instead, a dog appears out of thin air and lunges at the sniper. Lunges, even. Its jaws clamp onto their neck, throwing them off balance. They stumble and fall off the roof. And just as suddenly, the dog is gone. Holy fuck, did you see that? I did. It might have been a gangrel, although, let's think about that later. Gangrel, Often closer to beast than other vampires, the gangrel style themselves apex predators. These ferals prowl the wilds as easily as the urban jungle, and no clan of vampires can match their ability to endure, survive, and thrive in any environment. Often fiercely territorial, their shape-shifting abilities give even the undead pause. The clan of the beasts, animals, ferals, barbarians, outcasts, wolves, and strays. Without wasting any more time, we duck into the dark alleys. Anything to get away from this madness. The relentless echo of gunfire fades, now replaced by the distant, mournful wail of police sirens. As we move, my instincts kick in hard, prompting me to sweep the rooftops, windows, and alleyways for threats. There's no immediate danger. Actually, the streets are eerily deserted, as if everyone could sense the looming peril. But the air is still thick with tension. We should get moving. Yeah. We run in silence, Patty and I, our movements synchronized as though we'd rehearsed this escape countless times. We're supposed to be the predators of the night, and now, here we are, the prey, driven by the fear of being hunted. Echoes of agonizing screams still haunt my ears. I can't tell if they're real or just figments of my imagination. As we sprint through a seemingly safe alley, the faint smell of burning gasoline hits my nose. The smell intensifies as we round the corner, mingling with the fading glow of a fire in a trash can. Then I trip, sprawling face first into the slush. I push myself up and see that my hands are coated in a mix of melted snow, dirt, and blood. I look up, eyes adjusting to the dim light. The alley is strewn with bodies. Hunters, judging by their gear. It's deathly quiet. Shit, it's like a grinder ran through them. Who? I don't know, but we need to find another way. Something's not right here. That's when I hear a strained grunt, then an ominous whoosh through the air. I glance up just in time to see a Molotov cocktail flying straight at us from a window above. Patty, focused on the carnage around us, doesn't see it coming. Oh, fuck. Time crawls to a stop. Try to catch it mid-flight, shove Patty away. Oh dear. Trying to catch it is a tall order. What should we do here? Oh man, I'm good for either of these options. I think in an instinct, we shove Patty away. I crouch and launch myself with all my strength at Patty, now looking up, his eyes wide in alarm, hoping to shove him out of harm's way. Despite my smaller frame, I slam into him hard enough to knock him over like a rag doll. We both skid into a wall several yards away, narrowly escaping the flames that are now devouring the alley and the dead hunters. The pungent aroma of charred flesh strikes my nostrils, permeating the alleyway within seconds. I'm gasping, trying to regain my composure. Patty is already up and looking for the bastard who nearly turned us into ashes. Then a sharp, anguished cry pierces the air, followed by the crash of breaking glass. The hunter tumbles out of the window and hits the ground with the broken bones. He's followed by a dark, bloodied figure that lands elegantly beside him. Oh, of course. Valerie grabs the hunter by the throat, hoisting him up before biting deeply into his neck. She drinks ravenously, her victim's body spasming under her grip until it finally goes limp, the last twitches fading into stillness. Valerie? She doesn't answer, still on a high from feeding. Without a word, she spins around and disappears into a nearby building. Moments later, she emerges, carrying an unconscious Aeling. Only now do I see just how bad Aeling's injuries are. She's lost the lower half of both legs, her left arm has been ripped off, and her neck is savagely torn up. She's covered in vast, ugly burns. Up close, it's horrifying. Oh man, and she's like the main Tremere character, at least back in the day. You're a natural-born distraction, little raven. Yeah, chaos always seems to find me. I sneak a peek at Patty. He can't take his eyes off Aeling's wrecked body like it's digging up some traumatic memory. Valerie notices it too. She won't be waking up from torpor anytime soon, I'm afraid. Torpor. A state where vampires are dead to their surroundings and reduced to the appearance of a shriveled corpse where they cannot use disciplines or react to other stimuli. This, however, is not final death, and they will wake in accordance with the time dictated by their humanity. What happened? Is this their doing? He waves his hand around the alleyway, gesturing at the obliterated remains of the hunters. No, she happened to be at the center of the explosion alongside Addison. It's a miracle she wasn't instantly shredded. In pain? Valerie shrugs. There's nothing left of him, though we hardly had time for a thorough search. Without another word, Valerie starts to walk away. We're heading to Williamsburg. Valerie stops briefly and looks back at us through her unkempt mop of red hair. Excellent. Then she sprints off, her figure silhouetted against the flickering flames as she vanishes into the darkness. Patty shoots me a wary glance. I just nod, too wired to chat. Come on, we have a lot of ground to cover. Alright guys, well, we survived the attack on Elysium and the Council, but it looks like others did not. But we'll see if they're able to get out of this in the next episode. Hope y'all have enjoyed it. If you liked the episode, please leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help. And we'll see you next time. Later days, everyone.